MediGroup Physician Services presents MediGroup's Frank's Fast Five with healthcare executives, produced by Bridget Wilson and Carrie Peters. Today's guest is Rand Ballard, Chief Customer Officer for Vizient. Now, here's your host, MediGroup's Frank Gillespie.
Well, hello and welcome once again to another edition of MediGroup's Frank's Fast Five with healthcare executives. Alongside me also is Andy Klearman, MediGroup's Chief Executive Officer. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Frank. Great to be with you here today.
Nice to be with you as always. And today we're here with Mr. Rand Ballard, Chief Customer Officer for Vizient. Rand, how in the world are you?
You know, Frank, Andy, I'm just excited to be here with two of my favorite people.
Great to see you, Rand.
Well, it's an honor to have you, Rand. Thank you so much for your time. I promised you we wouldn't waste your time, so I'll jump into the first question. Rand, since Vizient's purchase of MedAssets, you've been the Chief Customer Officer for Vizient, and as the Chief Customer Officer for Vizient, how has your role changed compared to what you did at MedAssets?
Well, first off, Vizient is a lot bigger, Frank.
Okay.
But one of the reasons that Vizient acquired MedAssets is they wanted to adopt the servant leadership culture. And we truly believe that we put our members first.
Sure.
And in fact, every employee's variable comp, every single employee's variable comp is tied to member satisfaction. So, and tied to member savings. So that's just an incredible solution that we've developed here. And actually having the comp tied to that for all employees is an exciting thing. So it's all about saving those members money, just like, you know, if they buy from MediGroup.
Exactly. And what a great dynamic. I mean, that does make a lot of sense. So absolutely. I appreciate that answer. Thank you, Rand, for that. And I believe up next, I think Andy's got something for us.
Hey, Rand, Andy here. During the pandemic, we understand that Vizient created a war room to help monitor the changing landscape. What was it like in the war room, and what were some of the ways Vizient helped their members through this difficult time?
Oh, Andy, it was dynamic. The sourcing leadership led by Margaret Steele, David Gillen, and a whole host of other people, over 70 Vizient employees manned the war room 24 hours a day. Wow. And any member could go in, and in fact, we had a lot of members that don't even belong to our GPO that went in and said, hey, I need help. And we would immediately triage it. We'd see what we could do. We'd network, and we just did a phenomenal job of meeting those member expectations and those needs. And it was a very, very dynamic time. So I'm proud of what we did with the war room. I'm proud to serve our members, and I'm very proud of those employees who had the passion around that to just never give up and find those solutions.
Wow, Vizient really did a lot to help members get through this. That's really great. I know Vizient has made preparations to help mitigate product shortages in the event of another pandemic, or even through the current one. Could you tell us a little bit about that program?
Yeah, Andy, two things. First off, on the pharmaceutical side, we have about 879 SKUs where we have a dedicated supply. So our fill rates on these pharmaceuticals, and they're all areas where there's drug shortages, is just substantially more, right? And that's an investment that Vizient's made. We don't go and ask our members for money and then make an investment in a company. We've just made these commitments. So that's what we're doing on the pharmaceutical side. Dan Kishner has done a fantastic job there, and the fill rates are great. On the med-surg side, we have done some really great things with Nova Plus Enhanced Supply. So on the pharmaceutical side, each of those manufacturers have 3 to 6 months of drug set aside for each member. We're now doing that on the med-surg side. And that's a great solution that we have. Additionally, Vizient made some investments in domestic U.S. supply. I'm very proud of this. Again, we didn't go out and ask our members for a check, and to do something. We have existing relationships we do. Let me mention 6 here in the U.S. Encompass, a great company in McDonough, Georgia. They had quit making disposable level 3 isolation gowns. We called them, and they fulfilled a PO for 65 million disposable isolation gowns. They're moving that manufacturing back to McDonough, Georgia, and they also have bouffant caps and shoe covers. Great solution. Prestige Ameritech. a good Texas-based company there, makes N95 masks. And we did a pre-commit with them, and our members committed to 800,000 masks a month. Klearman, which is a certified diverse supplier, they make single and dual head stethoscopes, and they're all domestically assembled. And they have high quality face shields. Great way to support the diversity program and domestic US. Standard Textile, one of our all-time favorites, 6.2 million reusable gowns, reusable surgical masks, shoe covers, bouffant caps, skull caps. Great company. And we're the first supplier to step up and be part of the Nova Plus Enhanced Supply Program. Sri Tang, right? We currently procure 60 million of chemo-rated nitro exam gloves per month. And they're opening a plant in the US to support our efforts. ECLA, 2 million infrared and 4 million digital stick thermometers per month. And you probably saw that Ochsner is building a glove plant in Lafayette, Louisiana. And we're going to partner with them, and we'll be having that domestic production also available in the market. So just some of the things we're doing, to make sure that we're protected in the future. And if the things are cut off from China or from overseas, that we have domestic production to support your members, Andy, and we'll do this going forward.
Wow, Rand, that's really excellent.
Very, very excellent, Rand. Thank you for sharing that. So, Rand, in all the years that you've effectively served the healthcare community, is there perhaps one thing you learned early on in your career that has been an ongoing force for you still to this day?
Well, I think three things, basically. One of the reasons it keeps me going is we're still learning. The world is changing, right? And healthcare changes. And, particularly what MediGroup does and their ability to serve the non-acute, the ambulatory setting, it's changing. And we have to be able to adapt and change with it. That excites me. The basic tenets, though, that I think are important is be genuine with the members, be transparent, do what you say you will do. I think if you do those things, and if there's bad news, you share it up front. If there's good news, you share it up front, but just be transparent and genuine, and things will work out. I think you might have taught me that, Frank.
Rand, honestly, I can think back to the days when I worked for Daughters of Charity and you were with Baxter Healthcare and you came in, and when there was an issue, always with the members. I can remember one time there was some shortage of something and you had to get up in front of the entire membership from Baxter and walk that through. And exactly what you just said is exactly the way I remember it. Transparent, honest, let's talk it through. Really cool, Rand. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Frank.
Absolutely. And Andy, I think you've got one to close it out.
Yeah, well, I just want to say, well, Rand, we've now known each other for 18 years, since when I first walked into MedAsset's office with my brother Brad and got to meet with you, Mike Cassidy, and Mark Mariani, whom was Frank's boss at the time. Fortunately, you gave us a shot, and not only that, you fended off all the doubters who wanted to terminate our agreement. You told them, just hold on, MediGroup has good potential, and not so many words. Well, here we are in MediGroup's 21st year in business, with the continued honor of being able to serve all of our mutual customers / members. And so I just want to say thank you. You are the GOAT and a great friend.
Well, thank you, Andy. I remember that time a long time ago also. And I remember we shook hands. And you said, the contract is the contract, but shaking hands and giving your word is what matters. And that's what you guys are about. Appreciate what you do for all your members. Thank you.
Thank you, Rand.
Thank you, Rand. Thank you for your time, and thank you for being you all these years. It's an honor and a pleasure, and I can't wait till our path crosses again. So thank you.
This has been MediGroup's Frank's Fast Five with Healthcare Executives, produced by Bridget Wilson and Carrie Peters, and hosted by Frank Gillespie. Special thanks to Rand Ballard, Chief Customer Officer for Vizient. This has been a presentation of MediGroup Physician Services.